Who the fuck would suggest that?
Some guy drinking some really hoppy IPA.
Man, I hate hops, dude. My belly's all growly.
You're listening to Let's Talk Fantasy Football, where men of fantasy genius have realized, hey guys, we don't need real football skills to dominate on the fantasy field. Yeah. So slap on your pads and grab your helmet. Shit's about to get real.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Let's Talk Fantasy Football. I'm your host for this evening, really co-host, because who I'm with, we like to share things because we're both the best. Don Crispin, the D.O.N, the man who owns my heart. What's going on, dude? It's the Voncast, first time this season, I believe.
I think for the regular season, and I'm fucking pumped, dude.
Yeah,
I'm ready to black out.
That's good news for you, me, and no one else. That's all who's going to be having fun. Yeah. And we had Matt and Walsh on the recap podcast this week. If you didn't hear that, go listen to it. It's pretty funny. But they tried to outdo us, Don. I was not a fan. They pushed an hour and a half, and I think we're going to have to try and top that shit.
Yeah, the two beer virgins over there fucking pushed an hour 20, so I think we're going to have to do at least 240 to double it, right?
Yeah, I was thinking like somewhere around like the Avengers runtime or possibly Titanic if we want to go for the record.
Oh, nice. Instead of splitting this into two casts, we make it 4.
Yeah, and then Shrek will just kill us. It'll just be super installments, but
I'm pretty sure
yes,
we every Bond cast, so that won't change.
Oh no, this is going to go very long. We'll try and outdo their asses, and they don't like IPAs because it hurts their tummies and stuff like that.
Yeah, their beer balls hasn't dropped yet.
Me and Don, I think, are both sporting IPAs, I believe. What do you got, Don?
Well, I was actually inspired, and I actually enjoyed the nice little segment that Walsh and Matt went on, even though
it was funny.
I'm a little upset that neither of them to just not like it. So I understand the palate and not liking it. And Matt just made him sound like he's just still broke and can never afford anything than possibly a 6-pack of whatever domestic he can find.
Yeah, they're just savages.
Apparently, according to Bottle King, it's New Jersey's #1 craft beer called Demented. It's the Scarlet Knight. Good call. I don't know if they're naming it after Rutgers or not, but it's the American Red Ale. I don't know if I would list it as the #1 craft beer in Jersey. Yeah. I have to delve into because, you know what? I'm not shy of IPAs and all that, and all the craft beers, the red amber ales, and Walsh's favorite nut brown ale because we don't know how many nuts he likes. So
all the good stuff, man. But when they were talking about the IPAs, I was at work and I was just like, man, I think I should go get some IPAs, and then I did.
Redeem LTFF, so not everyone thinks that we're beer pussies.
Made me thirsty. I don't know. I enjoy them, but I understand what it is sometimes. Like if you have a really hoppy one, like he was talking about, just like eating grass.
Yeah, no, I respect it. I respect the not liking IPA because you tried it, you don't like hops. Maybe Walsh enjoys more of the wheat side and the blonde ales and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, once he gets a little cultured, he'll figure it out.
Maybe we'll take Walsh out and we'll grab a flight of beers, see what he likes and what he doesn't, and we'll go from there.
A sweet little tasting. That'll be nice.
Figure out how to afford another 50 cents to buy that lime with this fucking Corona.
Yeah. That was a dumb move anyway. So that's a whole other thing. We don't have to get into like an anecdote about how we were shopping at bodegas and whatnot, but we are here for a purpose, Don, and that is to preview the Week 10 games, at least half of them in this first part of the podcast. So we're going to get into that, a bunch of bye weeks that kind of fuck you over. We got the Ravens on bye, Chiefs on bye, Raiders on bye, Eagles on bye. So that's a lot of firepower for your teams. We're going to try and figure this shit out once again because this year, we were talking about this before the podcast, it's just been completely fucked. Like it's a lot of non-high scoring affairs in our fantasy leagues and just a whole lot of injuries and shit. And we're having a really hard time predicting. So I hope I did a good job at selling you on listening to this podcast for information, but we're going to try and weed through it for you.
Yeah, this week is going to suck, but listen to us for another hour and a half.
2:45. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, before we start, we're going to give a quick shout out to BenchBoss, the usual, and we're going to let you know that they are still the revolutionary app that allows you to play fantasy football live while watching the game on TV. Predict the plays, the results of the play, and literally play fantasy football. You can sign up for the beta now by going to letstalkfantasyfootball.com/benchboss. And then our shameless plugs, you can like and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. I think we're on iHeartRadio now. Shrek's pulling the strings back there, figuring everything out. You can download our apps in the iOS store, Android store, whatever the hell, and we're on Alexa. So go out there and do all that fun stuff. Don, are you ready to fucking do this?
Well, just make sure to put out your reviews out there and say how great I am.
Right.
No bad reviews ever.
Only 5 stars. Got to be about Don and his looks. Nothing about fantasy whatsoever.
Yeah, that about sums what we need.
Here we go. All right, Don. Right into it now. Thursday night, Seahawks at Cardinals. This should be, I don't know. This could be a total blowout by the Seahawks, right?
I would assume so, man. They don't have Palmer. They're going with Stan, which Stan's, he knows the system. It's kind of like the Matt Flynn of the Packers back in the day. But Seahawks are starting to get on their groove, and it's definitely going to be a blowout for sure.
Yeah, and we'll take it over the Seahawks first, I guess, as you allude to. Finally, Russell Wilson finding his groove. People can, do less panicking because he's finally coming to his own. The slow burn for the Seahawks is a very real thing. Doug Baldwin, Russell Wilson, they turn it on at the second half of the season. So if you were patient, if you didn't make a move for him, or if you went out and traded for him, good on you, man. Just keep playing your regulars. Like Wilson's definitely a go. Baldwin's still a go, even though, he's probably going to be on Patrick Peterson, who's having an amazing year, probably the best cornerback in the league, and shutting people down. But, they move Baldwin around a lot. And if he's still going to get his catches and targets, so he'll be there.
I actually think Baldwin's going to have a good game. I was reading that he's actually 4th in the league for slot this season, and Patrick Peterson, out of 390 snaps, has only defended the slot 22 of those times.
Yes, that's what I meant by like that moving him around. But in a game where they don't have much to do, I think they're going to do the hardcore shadow on Baldwin because Paul Richardson is questionable now with his groin injury, and then Tyler Lockett. Yeah. So if they really only have to stop Baldwin, I'm sure he'll shadow all game. But that's besides the point. Don, what are you doing? I know a lot of people are playing Paul Richardson the last 2 weeks. Do you roll him out if he's a go, or what do you think?
No, I think I'm staying away from it. I think that Paul Richardson will see a lot of Patrick Peterson if he does play, and I'm going to shy away from that. I think the pass catchers that I would look more into for Seattle would be Doug Baldwin and Jimmy Graham. I'm definitely staying away from Paul Richardson this week.
That's very fair. And I think if I was going to play one of the two out of Paul Richardson or Tyler Lockett for the number 2 spot, it would be Lockett, just because he has the upside to catch that huge play. And like you said, Richardson could see a little more of Peterson if they move Baldwin into the slot and he doesn't follow him there. So That is a good point. And Jimmy Graham, as you said, there was a little bit of an issue that he was missing practice and stuff, but they took him off the injury report today, which is Wednesday, by the way, which we are podcasting, and he should be a go. So that's all normal. Start Jimmy Graham as you would. Less and less clarity for the running back situation since Eddie Lacy is going to miss. Well, actually, I guess more clarification there because Eddie Lacy is going to miss with that groin injury, and now you got Thomas Rawls confirmed starter by the OC Darrell Bevel, which wasn't Pete Carroll talking his normal shit. So, Don, do you trust Rawls, and would you roll him out there with any sort of confidence? Keep in mind that CJ Prosise and JD McKissick will probably be active and, probably catching some passes and shit.
Yeah. I think Walsh said it really nicely on the podcast yesterday. That, again, this is a Thursday night matchup too, and he brought up a good point where, you don't want to fall into those Thursday night woes by taking a risk of Thomas Rawls where, that backfield can be crowded with, you don't know what Carroll's going to do with now CJ Prosise is healthy and McKissick is in there too. So I'm leaning towards it's not worth the risk of throwing in a Thomas Rawls on a Thursday night in your matchup when now we're second half of the season, probably need a win. I'm not going with Thomas Rawls as the risky upside.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I would really hate to do it, but as we allude to the bye weeks and stuff, you could be forced into this play, and it's not the worst in that situation where if you're forced into doing it, sure, whatever, take the risk. But
if you don't have an option, then it is what it is because he is the clear starter. But if you have a choice, I'm not playing Thomas Rawls.
Yeah, if you have someone better, for sure, do it. If you want to take the risk, go for it. He looked good in relief during the Redskins game when Lacey went out, but everyone's going to be active for this one.
I think Thomas Rawls is a good running back. It's just always a crowded, who knows what the fuck's going on with Pete Carroll. He's always thrown in everyone. When he says someone's a starter, they end up not getting the lion's share of the carries that game anyway. So it's a lot of risk for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah. Also, they kind of treat him like shit when he's the starter because they just want him to burn out and they misplay him and stuff like that. So
yeah, he's the Christine Michael of their backfield now.
Yeah, he's a talented dude, but they won't fully let him go and try and take the job for whatever reason. But that is the case. So we've covered, I think, all the options there. So do what you will with Thomas Rawls, but know the risk. Switching over to the Cardinals, there aren't a lot of guys I want to play here, Don, but there is some good news if you have to roll people out there. Sherman might miss, Earl Thomas might miss, so they will be missing, a lot of the Legion of Boom if they don't go. But I think they're both listed as questionable for now. So keep an eye on that shit because it's going to affect definitely the passing game with Larry Fitzgerald and possibly if you have to do something stupid, one of the Browns. But I'm not playing that.
I really don't like that with a Drew Stanton quarterback.
Yeah. No.
I think elsewhere.
He threw some horse shit touchdown to Jerron Brown last week, and it was
that was a horse shit. Yeah.
It was awful, but very cool, but definitely just stupid because it didn't help anyone in fantasy and was just that shouldn't have happened at all.
No. I think my only receiver that I'm going there is Fitzgerald. Again, It's still tough. It depends on who's playing with Seattle, but I think Fitzgerald. Again, I think he's top 15 receiver right now. So he's playing at a mediocre status or a little bit above, but I don't think he's anyone that you want to sit even against the Seattle defense right now. So I think he's a wide receiver too, or a solid flex play if you have some strong receivers. But I think you're still rolling him out there because he does get, he's their primary receiver anyway. So I think he's your play.
Yeah, still, getting the targets with Stanton in there, which is great because he got 9 last week. I think he caught 5 of them. Had a pretty decent, PPR game, so that is what it is. It's Fitz, man. Roll him out there. And then the Seahawks are banged up, like we said. So, Don, I really want to get your opinion or Don gut feeling on what AP is going to do after getting 37 fucking carries last week. How you feeling about him this week?
It could either be a fucking pattern of AP's going to go off against a really bad defense and rush a shit ton, and then the next week fucking suck. Because we've gotten his first week in Arizona, he did really insane, and then the week after he did nothing, and then again this week he just had the most rush attempts he's ever had, and then he had 160 yards. So now he's playing against a more stout defense, and I'm a little worried. But again, the bye weeks, I'm playing him in the league that we are in because bye weeks. I got AJ on his second fucking bye. And so I now have to play AP, and I'm okay. I'm going to accept it. If he doesn't do it, then it's okay, he's an every other guy, and he can only beat up on mediocre to bad defenses. So this is going to be a good test, but I'm going to roll him because I need to. And I think he's a RB3 flex play too. I'd roll him. It all depends, but I have to play him. Bye weeks are tough. I'm rolling him in as my RB2 slot.
Yeah, I think if somehow the Cardinals are able to keep this close at all, the game script will stay positive for Peterson. But if this slips away by 2 scores, he will do nothing, which sucks. But, obviously the upside of that is Seahawks haven't been, what they were on defense, and they've been gashed in the run at times. So if Peterson can get somewhere from 15 to 18 carries at least, I think he'll have a good game. But, again, game script is going to be supremely dependent on that. So I agree with your theory on roll him out. The only other guy I'm slightly intrigued here is Jermaine Gresham. Seemed to have some stupid rapport with Stanton last week. Caught his first touchdown. I think he could have had 2 touchdowns actually last week. So, Don, if you are in a horrible, horrible pinch, Gresham Thursday night, would you do it?
Probably not.
I agree. I pitched it like I pitched it like I would, but I don't have those kind of balls, which would be big. I don't have that.
I mean, that would be cool if it happens. And, but I just don't. Again, I think Walsh really made a good point. Like, you got to remember, this is going to be Thursday night. Are you going to be really rolling some crazy dice on a Thursday night game and then kicking yourself for another 4 days about it?
Yeah, been there too many times. So, yeah, I guess you could probably avoid Gresham, and we'll hit some other tight end streamers for sure later. We're not just going to leave you with Gresham.
Yeah, if you want to throw the flyer on, DFS, cool. But I don't think that's for a standard league. You're going to be doing that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Shouldn't have even brought it up. I'm a dumb person, but whatever.
No, dude, it's cool, bro. Listen,
hey, it's a Voncast, dude.
Just bring in some variety.
I feel better now.
We're gonna talk about IPA since they didn't talk about any of that last. And now we're gonna talk about tight ends who shouldn't play. We're gonna bring some variety. We got another 2 hours and 20 minutes, man. It's the Voncast.
My palate's so full of flavor and fantasy information, man. It's delicious. But let's pick it, Don. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here in what I think is gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, I would love to see Arizona win, but I just don't think that they have the manpower to do it. I'm going to go Seattle with a sweep.
Boo. All right, moving on. Interesting. This will be a lot of.
I'm actually excited about the matchup, actually, which is horseshit.
Yeah. Anyway, it's the Jets at the Bucks, everybody. Huge game for both teams.
And it's revenge games because out of the 17 they've each played for.
Are you talking about ASJ and Fitz?
I'm talking about McCown. I'm talking about McCown and Fitz.
Oh yeah,
dude. And he lost the starting job.
They both played for like 9 teams,
right?
Man.
17 teams, exactly.
Give me a fucking break.
McCown got was benched for Glennon when he went over there after he had a good year with the Bears. They signed him, then they signed Glennon.
So it's a battle of the beaten men, man.
Of the journeyman. It's the battle of the journeyman for the revenge on one of their 17 teams each.
I like that. Well, Don, which journeyman do you like the most in this matchup?
I think is another guy that's been disrespected all year. I mean,
I agree.
Deservedly so.
I'll apologize, Don, because you called for the hate to stop a long time ago. I think it was a couple weeks back, probably the last podcast we did together.
Show us the fucking Browns.
Yep.
Yeah. Come on.
Exactly. So I apologize.
Listen, been slighted one way because he's McCown, but again, I'm looking at all my leagues, and McCown is still on the waiver wire, but it depends on your league scoring. But McCown is like the number 10 QB in fantasy football right now. Mm-hmm. That's with what we all thought would be a garbage team. McCown is playing good, and I think McCown's going to have a great game against Tampa Bay, who's not a good defense at all.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's
McCown.
Yeah, he's got to be up there with the maybe not even just streamers, like top 5 quarterbacks.
He might be top 5 dead or alive this year.
I think you're right, Don. So
and I love him, dude.
Yeah, I'm digging it now too. So stream or keep playing downtown Josh McCown because it's somehow working. I
think Josh McCown needs to be owned.
Yes. Yeah.
Not streamed.
Yes, absolutely.
Josh McCown needs to be owned.
He's completely balling out, and it doesn't make sense. And if we can't come to grips with it by week 10 in an awesome matchup, like you're just a scumbag. Like it's just gotta stop fighting it. Stop fighting it. It's over. So, Don, on the flip side with the quarterback there in Fitz, taking over for Jameis with the shoulder injury, any desire to stream him? Because the Jets have been, you can beat them up in the pass game, run game, but they've been a little stiffer as of late. Would this be a time to do it?
I think Eli Manning is probably on your waiver wire too, and I think I would even take Eli Manning over Fitzpatrick.
Oh, my.
I do. You got to remember, Mike Evans isn't there either.
He's still suspended.
I don't think it's horrible if you do it. I think if it's me and if I see Eli Manning or if I see, I never ever bought into any hype of Eli Manning any year I've ever been in fantasy football. I think he's never been fantasy viable. I've been on any team that I've ever played, but I think this week I would rather play Eli Manning than Ryan Fitzpatrick. if you're going to go on the stream route.
Fair enough. To mention the Giants play the 49ers, so that's what Don is alluding to, which we'll get to later and discuss. But I think you're on the right track there, Don. I think the line would probably be at Eli as my, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing? I have to do this guy. And then Fitz is below that, so try not to play him.
Yeah, I mean, it could end up okay with Fitzpatrick.
I agree.
It's not like he's going to get you. I think you'd be happy if you get 16 out of Fitzpatrick against the Jets.
Yeah, you know how it is with him. It's you get 16 and you get 4.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I don't think that I don't think it's horrible. I just think that Eli will be on your waiver wire. And I think that if you're going to stream, I think you should go. McCown is probably on your waiver wire. So grab him. I think he's great and own him. If not, I think Eli Manning you're going to go over. So I'm just saying no on Fitzpatrick.
That totally works for me, Don. So we discussed the quarterbacks. Let's just switch over to the Jets and discuss the running back situation.
Yep.
Matt Forte didn't practice with a knee. He was on fire last week. I would be very excited to be able to play him against this shitty Bucs team. So I think if Forte is active, you're rolling him out there. Just suck it up. They do kind of have a 3-headed monster there secretly with Forte, McGuire, and Powell. But Forte, I think, is the guy to play.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think Powell has some value if Forte wasn't able to play, but I don't know what it was actually out at the point, so I don't know what the injury is. But I'm assuming it's not that serious where he's not going to play.
Yeah, I think it's
right?
I think it's the fact that he's always been dinged up and maybe like a veteran rest day and stuff like that. Yeah, so stuff like that will factor into clearly.
If Forte plays.
Forte plays,
I'm not playing Bill. I think Forte is a good play.
Yeah, I think he's the only one you can play if he's active. If he's not, of course, Powell becomes an automatic play. But you're totally right. Don't if Forte is active. Wide receivers, dude. Robbie Anderson, fucking as Walsh put wide receiver 1. Robbie Anderson. Jesus Christ, man.
Robbie Anderson shit right there.
He's been great. It sounds like you're going to rock that stack a whole lot this weekend, Don. But yeah,
I'm about it.
Yeah, he's a must-go. What do you think about Curse since Jeremy Curley is now suspended? Last week I fucked up and said he was suspended already, but now he is out 4 games, no pay. Do you think that bumps up Curse at all for you here? It's a very good
matchup to do it, so I'm okay with if buy heavy, no one's on the waivers, and you need someone. I think Jermaine Curse can get you some value. I think predominantly you're really looking for Robbie Anderson, ASJ, but this would be the week to do it. So, Jermaine Curse.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like you said, with the bye weeks too, you could be fucked. And Curse isn't even a bad play if you want to play him over somebody like Jordy Nelson, perhaps with that awful matchup they have. So take the matchup over the player.
For a while, he was the most targeted. I don't know. I don't have the targets up now. Maybe I think Robbie Anderson might have taken that over, but
yeah, Anderson and ASJ I think are in the target business, and Curse has kind of been on the outside lately. But you mentioned before, dude, ASJ, he's kind of tailed off a bit. He was my savior tight end pickup for the last couple of weeks, and now he's sort of tailed off. But this is a revenge game for him too, if you remember.
I'd be cool with it. I would be cool with running ASJ. I know he did slow down a little bit, but the Jets that are playing well against Tampa Bay, revenge game, ASJ is very good. So I think you put him back in your lineup for sure. Definitely over Jermaine Gresham.
Oh, yes, definitely. Who the fuck would suggest that?
I don't know. Some guy drinking some guy drinking some really hoppy IPA.
Man, I hate hops, dude. My belly's all growly. Anyway, we'll go over to the Bucs side. What a fucking shit show this is, dude. Did you see Winston doing the W, licking his finger and shit?
I watched that 3 times, and I got the goosebumps every time.
Oh man, it's so douche chilling.
I would have left. I would have left the circle. You just can't. You can't support that for his own good. You got to be Jameis, I don't support this. I'm going to walk away for your own good,
dude. Yeah, and then you have Drew Brees.
I said just staring at.
He's just fucking staring blankly. The one time in my
double.
Dude, yeah, we're ready to eat this W and just like licking every single one of his fingers. Like, all right, man, I'm gonna go watch Drew Brees like pump up a team the right way and then win. But
Yeah, that was
Jesus, man,
extremely bizarre.
Anyway, he's out, so don't worry about him. The running backs are the bane of my existence right now.
I need to actually know what I have. Doug Martin in 2 leagues, man. I need to know. Like, I didn't get to watch that game, so I don't know the reason why it was poor performance. But talk to me about Doug Martin, dude.
Yeah, he did really bad, and they pulled him. And like the whole dude, I think what is it? Evans, Martin, and Jackson had like 34 yards combined, like at halftime and shit. And then obviously Evans with that laying out Lattimore. They pulled Martin out of the game. So fuck all. Like they're just a shit team. But anyway, just getting back to Doug Martin. I don't think he's gonna lose his job or anything like that. He's definitely still the starter. Very game script dependent kind of dude. I think this could be a close enough game where like he'll get enough opportunities, but it's so risky to roll him out there now. Like I don't want to do it, but I'm going to because I like Doug Martin and stuff.
Yeah,
that's probably
trying to see.
That's really it.
I got you and some of the guys from LTFFs because my dad wants to play, and it's not a very serious league, but I'm doing well in it. And you got 2. I can play 2. I'm playing 4 running backs, and I was pumped for like Doug Martin to be my 4th running back, and I actually benched him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a safe bench if you got enough firepower, Don, which it sounds like you do with 4, playing 4
I'm playing
running
Jack
backs.
Doyle and Kelvin Benjamin, which I probably shouldn't even play. We'll hit Kelvin Benjamin, but
we
I don't know.
will.
I just think Doug Martin is a big question mark, man.
He really is, but the Jets have still given up enough points to the running back. They've been a little better in recent weeks, but man, starting running back's hard to pass up nowadays. So I would roll Doug Martin out there. The whole Peyton Barber taking his job kind of deal, I don't buy that.
Yeah,
I think
trash.
they were getting destroyed, and they threw in Peyton Barber, whatever the fuck. So not a big deal. If anything, Peyton Barber eats into Jaquiz a little bit more, and then Charles Sims is always out there and shit. So it's a mess, but that's all I can say.
I'll back you up and say roll Doug Martin for another week against a very hit or miss Jets run defense. So
if he has
play him and see how it goes.
If he has another bad game, it's super panic time because Doug Martin hasn't really played the full season with the suspension. So now about would be the time when you would panic and shit.
Sure.
Because why would you draft that guy like I did in every league?
Fair enough, dude.
Yep, exactly, dude. So Mike Evans suspended, like you said before. Deshaun Jackson, do you bump him up, Don? I like him as a play regardless, just because he becomes the one receiver for them, and then I feel like he's a low end 2, high end 3 option this week.
I think you have to because Deshaun Jackson is by far the most talented on the field at that point. Again, he's a deep ball threat. You got to see what Fitzpatrick will probably throw 3 interceptions trying to reach him. So he'll get the targets. So I would say play Deshaun Jackson. I think he's going to get the targets. Who knows if Fitz will find him. I think the best receiving play is actually Cameron Brate. I think Cameron Brate bumps up the most.
Hell yeah, you beat me to it. So I like Brate a lot in this as the lock to at least get a bunch of targets, touchdown upside there. So I like Cameron Brate definitely. Don, do you have any love for Humphreys or Chris Godwin?
Godwin's Walsh's guy. I think Humphreys would be the safer bet, but you're talking about a Ryan Fitzpatrick on the Tampa Bay offense right now from trying to play Adam Humphreys in my lineup.
I could not agree more. They have enough fucking problems outside of trying to get those to the ball. So you don't want to be on that train at all. So that's what you got here. Don, pick this game.
Dude, does this make the Jets 5-5?
Ew, yes.
Fuck yeah, dude. This is the only time I want the Jets to do good. So I'm going with the Jets, man.
I'm going to take the Bucks in what I would guess is the upset. I don't have the fucking spread, but
disrespectful, man.
Hey, man, I'm going to take Fitz.
Respect.
I'm going to take Fitz. I don't know. And I like Doug Martin, so I don't give a shit. Fuck the Jets. Disrespect again. I'm back on it. I don't give a shit.
All right.
Anyway, hold on. We're going to go over Saints and Bills. I don't know. This could be an interesting one. The Saints leaving, Saints leaving the dome kind of, it's interesting because I feel like if it was at home for the Saints, they would shred the Bills, but
The Bills just got shredded by the Jets.
Yes, well, I chalk that up to like the
Stop
weird
it, dude.
division game at home.
Disrespectful.
I am
disrespectful.
I really can't get over it. But Don, Drew Brees, he just doesn't throw it as much as he used to, and he doesn't have to. And the Saints are fucking really good now. Do you buy? Or that's not what you buy, but you're playing Brees, right? I would assume, but I think the expectation is pretty low.
Brees, I mean, dude, listen, Brees is still a top 10 fantasy quarterback. Listen, his running backs are good. Alvin Kamara is very surprising, has done a very good job. And then you got Mark Ingram that's doing a good job that we've known he could do. Finally, he's getting the play that he should. But I think Drew Brees is still a solid play.
Yeah, I'm just a little nervous. Bills' defense is better than it was last Thursday for sure. They should get some starters back and whatnot. So I think this could be like one of those low-scoring games when on paper it looks like it could be high-scoring. So I'm a little nervous rolling out Brees there. I do think.
So who are you playing over Brees?
Honestly, I'd probably play McCown over him, if we're being totally honest.
McCown's going to smoke Tampa Bay. But I don't think I would still have the balls to do that. If I'm a Brees owner and I'm playing him every week, I don't know if I'm going to go stream McCown.
All right, with the way Brees has played, he's been sittable, other weeks too in, bad matchups for the Saints. So I wouldn't be scared to do that, and I'll take the matchup over Brees' name, I think. It's not anything how Brees is playing in a football sense. It's just fantasy-wise. He does not have the volume he used to, and they're looking to run the rock a lot more. So that's why I'm kind of off him.
Okay.
But as I alluded to, running the rock, that's where they make their money. Mark Ingram all day, Kamara all day.
Yeah.
And then, Mike Thomas was out of practice, undisclosed, so we'll find out more in the week. But for now, I would have to say he'd probably go. But Mike, he's been, hot and cold, but you're going to roll him out there.
Well, Michael Thomas, he's getting the targets. It's just he's not getting the yardage.
Yeah, production. It's, again, like you don't make the most of your opportunities and like that limited – like he gets enough targets as like a number one for them, but again, they don't throw it so much. So
yeah.
Just a little limited there as well. Dude, what the fuck happened to Willie Snead? Why is he so fucking bad?
Yeah, I own him in one league where it's a full point PPR where I could actually draft him at a decent position because I thought I would be able to use him.
Yeah, right?
I don't know, man. I think you give him another week or two. I don't know. I really don't know what to give you on Willie Snead. I'm kind of hopeful because I think the talent's there. But, I mean, again, I think Michael Thomas has been a little bit underwhelming than to what you thought. Is not really – he doesn't have that many receptions. He's just that deep ball threat that gets that deep ball every time. So it's just a very weird passing. I guess more to your favor of Drew Brees, it's just a very weird, things for, their receivers. I really don't know how to gauge it. So Willie Snead, I think, is someone that you're not dropping yet. I'm not dropping him in the hopes that I think the next few weeks he's going to finally get back into rhythm, be fully healthy, that he's going to take over and Ted Ginn's going to Hail Marys all the time. I don't know. But I'm holding on to Snead. He's not someone that you're going to be playing.
Yeah, Snead's been one of my guys the last couple of years, and I think you could drop the shit out of him. He's at this point,
I think that's fair. If you do it, I debated it. I just think I'm going to give him another week or two, see what I can do. I mean, depending on what your bench needs are, I'm holding out to him in the hopes that in a week or two that turns around. He just needs one good game to get back into rhythm, and then Drew Brees is going to be connecting with him again.
Yeah, that's totally fair. But I'm just going to cut bait now. My heart can't take that much, Don. I can't. It's too much. And then, so I wouldn't play Snead or Ginn, but that's that. So switching over to the Bills, Tyrod, always rocking that floor, always rocking the ceiling.
Tyrod almost saved me last week.
In what league?
In the league that I'm 1-8.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's bullshit, dude. It's such bullshit. It's stupid. It's like and I really like this league, but I do very bad in this league. It's an 8-team standard league, and I always just somehow think I have the best team every year, and the past 2 years I've just not. So that's for sure, but it's just not worked out in my favor. So
Yeah. In your defense, 8-team is pretty hard. So
It's totally different, especially when you're used to like a lot of full point PPR or half point. So I don't know if that was sarcasm.
Joking, Don. Jesus Christ, but
suck it one time.
maybe twice, man. We got a long podcast going.
Hold on, let me get another nut brown ale.
Ooh, Scarlet Knight running down. So I would assume you're rolling Tyrod out there, Don. Saints have been a little tough, but nothing that would lead me to believe that Tyrod couldn't have a decent game, especially with his ability.
At home, yeah, I think that's cool. I'm okay with it. I think maybe right outside the top 10. I would say he's like a number 12 QB.
I agree. Somewhere in the middle. I think if you own him, you're playing him. LaShawn McCoy, always play him. It was a little weird in the Jets game, dude. They barely targeted him in the passing game. He was kind of in and out of the game. I'm not worried about him because I think he'll bounce back. So I would throw him out there still, but that was just odd to see. Like just one of those bummer ass games. Well,
if it makes you feel better, Shady has been the best running back in points scored at home. And he's averaging almost 131 yards from scrimmage per game at home versus his road games are less than half of that. Damn. So he is home. If that makes you feel better as a Shady owner, you got to roll him out.
Yeah, you're playing him anyway. Nice stat, Don. Didn't expect that coming out of you.
Yeah, it wasn't just the gut on that one. It was
you could have totally said that.
It was below the surface analysis right there.
Oceans deep. Zay Jones has a breakout game against the Jets, and I would never play him ever. Still.
You're an asshole if you play him.
Yes, I agree. You're looking for glory, and you will not find it.
No.
Jordan Matthews, I would not play either. The real question is, Don.
Mr. Clay?
No. What do you do with Kelvin?
Dude.
Good question. You could say no. I'll go first.
I don't know, dude. I'm in the middle of playing him or Doug Martin in my one flex right now.
Holy shit, that sucks. That's awful. I feel bad for you.
I'm tempted to go balls down and go Kelvin Benjamin though.
See, here's the thing. I think Lattimore is going to see a lot of Kelvin, and Kelvin's going to see a lot of Lattimore. So I think
hopefully he's still seeing stars from that Mike Evans hit.
Dude, he might be. He got laid the fuck. That was so cheap.
Dude, that was some bullshit.
That was really bad. Made AJ Green look classy.
I'm pretty sure Jameis Winston's fingers were still wet from licking his fingers so many times when he touched Lattimore's back of his helmet.
Fucking touch me with your W licked hands. Fucking freak. Anyway, I don't know, Don.
I don't know. I mean,
it's not a great matchup. It's, obviously he's been there for 2 weeks barely. So I think you give it another week. I know.
That or he pulls the J.J. first. J.J. had that crazy breakout in Philly.
Yeah.
Maybe Tyrod's like, just fuck it. I'm just going to sling it to Kelvin.
Yeah, fair enough. You know what? I said play him last week and he didn't even play. So I guess you're turning me around on it, Don. Fuck it, I guess.
I think I might just play Kelvin over Doug Martin and say fuck it.
That's a good fuck it call. That is. But, you could wind up, they're probably both not going to do too hot. So either way.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Kelvin's a good receiver. So I think Tyrod needs someone like that and just fucking try it out. So
yeah, that's a fair point. They needed.
Why not sling it to Kelvin?
They needed that receiver so bad in that Jets game. And, dude, it was miserable watching that game wind down. The last 3 quarters were just awful. I was like, this is frustrating for me to watch.
Yeah. I'm playing Kelvin Benjamin over Doug Martin. I just decided. Yeah,
that's a good call. I think we worked that one out, Don. That's what the Voncast is all about. Figuring shit out for ourselves. Charles Clay should be back. I'd be a little nervous, but if you could pick up Clay, I would be willing to eat this game because you can play him for the rest of the season as well. So I would take him back and see what he does, and then rock him rest of the season because he's been great.
That Tyrod likes to hit Charles Clay a lot, so pick him up if he's available.
Yeah, for sure. First, he's been practicing limited right off the knee surgery, so there you go on that one. I'm going to take the Saints here.
Yeah, I was going to do that too. But you know what? Let's split this. I'm going to go Bills plays a little different at home too, just like the Saints do. So I'm going to go Buffalo Bills. Go fucking Kelvin Benjamin.
I don't fucking hate that at all. Let's go to a game that the Browns will certainly hate. The Browns at the Lions. Are there any Browns you want to play, Don? There's really, limited storylines here. Corey Coleman might be back, I think. He said his hand is 100%. So
I think if with the buys, Crowell's been okay. If you have to.
Yeah, like
it's not sexy.
No, he's not.
Sexy, but he has played better.
To be honest, he's had a floor, and that's all he's had. So
maybe you might need a floor though.
At the very least,
like if it's a crazy flyer of like, let me try someone fucking nuts, or let me just put Crowell. Maybe you can get me a solid like 7-8 points in the flex.
It's totally
Crowell
fair.
Might be your man.
And I'd be lying if I said I haven't thought about playing him, but I've tried to, stay away from some positive vibes with Crowell ever since. I've been on a roller coaster ride all season. But Don, let me ask you, would you play Doug Martin or Crowell this week?
Man, that's a polar opposite. I think Doug Martin's ceiling is so much higher than Crowell.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think Crowell's floor is much better than Doug Martin. So in that league, I'd probably throw Crowell in my flex.
Cool. I was indirectly talking about our league, which I'm looking at that situation right now. I might do that.
I would say Crowell. I mean, Detroit's defense isn't that great, so.
Yeah, they've been spotty at best for sure. So as we've talked about, there is a floor for Crowell and pretty much nothing else. So that's the positive for him there. Duke Johnson should be fine from the concussion from that London game. So roll him out. I think, as that flex winner for you.
Yeah, if you're in a PPR league, I think throw Duke in there.
Yeah, for sure. Josh Gordon's still not coming back, but he will be with the team. So whatever. Really doesn't matter. There's literally no one else I want to play. So right down, that's it.
There's no one to play.
Cool. Lions side. Stafford must play. Absolutely. And
definitely.
Man, I can't figure out the running backs for shit.
Amir Abdullah had a good game against a bad Green Bay, but Abdullah's been disappointing too.
Yeah, it wasn't a good game, really.
And Theo Riddick has not been good. I would say don't play either. Look elsewhere. So, if you have to, I would say only Abdullah. I'm not playing. I still don't feel like Theo Riddick is that much of a playable option. If you're going to play anyone, it would just be Amir Abdullah.
Here's my thing with Abdullah. He fumbled twice in the Packers game, did pretty bad, very ineffective, got the touchdown like you said. And the Browns have a good rush defense that we keep forgetting about every single week. So I think that the Lions will probably get away from him a bit in this game. Like even with a positive game script for Abdullah, which would be the Lions up by a lot and them trying to feed him, I don't think it works because the Lions can't run the ball. Browns are pretty decent at stopping it. So I think they're going to have a lot of plays for Theo Riddick, especially after last week where Riddick was very good in relief and helping bail out that team and locking down that win. So I think Riddick could be a good play. Sneaky play.
Okay. I don't know if I'm doing it, but that's fair.
Yeah, that's just, a certain take on that. Marvin Jones has been fucking awesome lately, so
probably.
Yeah, man, rolling.
Probably for the last 5 weeks, because in between those was that bye. But 2 weeks before the bye, he's been pretty good too. Then the past 2 weeks, he's been very good.
Yeah, and
Jones is a play.
It's been him getting all the targets, and they've been distributing them very well, like averaging 10 a game for Marvin Jones over the last 3 games. Same thing with Golden Tate when he's active. So roll out both of those guys. Do not play TJ Jones. Do not play Galladay. Probably drop Galladay at this point. Like cut the shit already. Yep, and then Don, our favorite, Eric Ebron.
I don't know where that even caught on with LTFF. Like
you're the fucking guy. You're the Ebron guy.
I've never been the Ebron guy.
You started it.
No. The fuck is this?
I'm joking, dude. been mostly me and Walsh and Shrek.
Shrek.
Shrek like caught on this year, and it fucked him the most I've ever seen.
Shrek.
Either me or Walsh get
Ebron
Shrek
so long.
Yeah, it's been pretty fucked up.
I guess because you know what? Listen, he's a loyal guy. He's loyal to the cast. He believes in the cast, even though sometimes we're wrong.
We're wrong.
Only been wrong about. I've never been an advocate of Ebron. You please drop Ebron if anyone has a. Go pick up and play Jermaine Gresham before Eric Ebron.
Okay, if that's the line, Don, then this discussion is over, and you can't play Eric Ebron, despite the fact that the Browns are the worst next to the Giants.
Don't despite the fact with Eric Ebron.
You're right. I should probably cut the shit with that. You're right, Don.
I feel like every time that they go into like over game script and all that, like Matt Stafford's walking up to the seat in the front and slaps Eric Ebron in the back of the head every time he fucking walks past him because he just probably can't stand him at this point.
He's fucking sleeping watching game film.
Yeah. Whatever. Detroit wins. Don't play Eric Ebron.
Yeah, what Don said. Definitely going Lions here.
Go with the big three: Stafford, Jones, Tate.
Boom. We should have just said that and moved on because although we're trying to break our record, so it's good that we're on podcast
time, so we're okay.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, get into the Bengals and Titans after this break from BenchBoss.
This year, dominate your friends with free play-by-play fantasy football from BenchBoss. BenchBoss is the first play-by-play fantasy football game where you must think like the players and coaches on the field as you predict the outcome of every play. Earn rewards as you compete against friends and fans across the country. BenchBoss is currently recruiting beta testers, and we need you. Visit benchboss.tv to learn more and sign up today.
And we are back. That was BenchBoss. And we are going to hop right into my favorite team, the Cincinnati Bengals, and they are playing the Titans. Bengals are terrible, Don. Please.
Yeah, Titans are underwhelming, though, too.
They are, but,
their defense is,
beatable. Oh, the Bengals D?
Yeah, but, Tennessee's defense is decent, but, I think Tennessee was probably one of the offenses we were really high on this year. We were really excited to talk about and all around. Mariota, I think a bunch of us were high on, and he sucks. DeMarco and the whole is just you don't know what to do with him and Henry. The receivers are either hurt or you don't know what to do, and with Delaney Walker too. I just think it's a very underwhelming year for the Tennessee Titans on the offensive side. So I don't know. The Bengals got a chance, dude.
Yeah, I hope so. So I guess we're going with the Titans first, Don, since you hit them. But whatever, man. I'm not controlling the podcast or whatever.
No, so dude, we said we were co-hosts, man. You said that from the beginning.
But I didn't say
take the equals here, man.
Just take the reins from me, dude. You got to ask. I'm not giving you. That's it, man. I'm not giving you the Packers game next. I was going to throw it right over to you.
Second-class citizen fucking Don over here.
No respect, disrespect.
I did enough shit in the fucking in the group chat. All right, not in the Voncast. Give me the Voncast, man.
All right, man. You'll get the next game. I'll still throw it over to you. Anyway, we'll start with the Titans. Like you said, Don, you pretty much summed it up very well. They have a lot of pieces. Everybody has a floor. But the ceiling has been, it's been the opposite of the Rams. Like any of those players and all the players could go off at once for the Rams. But with the Titans, it's been like one or two guys. Yeah. And it's been very hard to figure it out. And the distribution, it looks predictable on paper. Like Rashard Matthews playing most snaps at wide receiver, but he's just, hit and miss on the touchdowns. Very, very decent floor, but, doesn't have a blow-up game. Eric Decker, fuck Eric Decker. Don't play him ever. He's playing less than 50% of snaps on every single week.
Which kills us because we were high on BDD.
I know. Yes. It's tough. But we got to let him go.
The dick that big guy.
I know it's how could you be? Yeah, use the dick, man. Just use the dick. Get out there more.
We were. I mean, I was extremely excited for this offense this year. It's very disappointing. What I can say is though I think Rashard Matthews getting off the fact that Decker's got a big dick.
I thought you were going to say I was really excited for that dick, but you did not say that. So
I'm always excited for that.
I was going to say you probably were, but anyway, Rashard Matthews.
Getting back on to actual, or maybe we were talking about fantasy big dicks. Anyway, I think Rashard Matthews got on to the probably some people cut him in your league. I think he gets back onto being owned. I think you're going to start to see a little bit more of a rhythm with Rashard Matthews. I think you're right. Temper your expectations on any type of ceiling, but I think he's going to be your most reliable receiver there. I think he's going to have a decent floor, and who knows, maybe it'll start picking up with touchdowns. I would assume so. I think Mariota's a good quarterback. I think at some point it's got to click. I like Corey Davis coming back. I think this is all going to start opening up their offense quite a bit. So Corey Davis needs to be owned again. Rashard Matthews, Eric Decker, you're right. I think he's going to go back into his role of only touchdown dependent, but like literally no other targets. So I don't think he's a playable guy. Delaney Walker's back from his injury. I think you're going to see Delaney Walker be, within the top 10 tight end again. So I think it all opens up second half of the season. You can go back to being owned. I don't know if I'm playing anyone this week. If anyone, probably my league, I think he's playable. And Rashard Matthews, if you have to play him he's a wide receiver 4. If you have to flex him.
Yeah. Thing to mention, Delaney Walker missing practice. So have another option ready. But if he is active, Delaney Walker, you could play him. But there aren't many, the tight end stream, we're talking about Gresham and fucking playing Clay off knee surgery. So if you have Walker, I'm sure you're playing him. It's not the worst.
Yeah, I don't think he's not going to play. I think it's just him resting up that ankle or whatever it was.
Definitely. With Corey Davis, man, I think eventually he'll become
good again.
The guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so they're working him back in, and it makes me nervous. I know you were loving Rashard a couple minutes ago, but
said that he's ownable again.
Oh, okay, Don. Jeez, rude.
Oh, dude, don't put the wrong words in my mouth.
It's exactly. You love Rashard Matthews, dude.
I do. I like Rashard Matthews. I really do, but I didn't love him in this instance. I just think he's back to being ownable. And I just put him at a wide receiver 4 or if you have to play him in a flex.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, Corey Davis, I think for the rest of the season will probably be a lot better than most of the offense. But like we were saying before, hard to tell who's going to have that game. So if you want to live or die on it, sure, go for it. The running backs, Don, you touched quickly, but Murray nursing a knee injury. You okay with rolling him out? I'm okay with it. I don't love it at all.
I have him in one league. I'm not cool with it, but I'm doing it. And just like, it's almost like a fuck it. Marco this week, please.
Yeah. Anyone that wants to play Henry, please don't. Really, anytime Murray is active, don't play Henry. It's worked a couple times, but dude, just stop doing that. It's dumb. Yep. Please stop. We'll go over to the Bengals. Don, Andy Dalton's a good streamer.
I'll let you take it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Talk, man. This is your segment.
Well,
I'm just the fucking peasant that's on the podcast with you.
I know what you are. Fucking asshole. I threw it right back to you, Don, so maybe I won't. I think Dalton's a good streamer. I don't want to even hear your opinion, so if you want to play Dalton, do it. No opinion, Don? I was joking. You can talk.
I was about to leave, take a piss break while you just talked by yourself. Please. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I think he's another streamer. I am in the streaming business right now. I don't think he's on the top of my list, but I think he's in the streamers of, I think McCown 1, 2, Eli 3. Then you could throw the Fitzpatrick, depending on who's on your waivers. But, yeah, I think he's in that streaming business.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad on-the-fly ranking. I think that was pretty dead on. Matt and Walsh also addressed the Dalton stream option on their recap and summed it up pretty well. Like Matt had a good point. Like you can have horrible Dalton show up in a good matchup and totally fuck you. So if you do have any of the options that Don was saying, you might want to consider that because the Bengals have been, very not good. AJ Green doesn't get suspended, so roll him out there as you would, even though he's had a pretty subpar season.
I got to say, and I actually really like AJ Green. And Finn, I normally pull for your Bengals for you, but I fucking loved reading.
Oh, he's not doing
I fucking loved reading Jalen Ramsey be like, yeah. He just owned up to it. I called him weak and soft every fucking play, and he just couldn't handle it. I loved every second of that.
Oh, it's just brutal, dude. It was
AJ Green. Don't be
7. I know, I agree. And AJ has always been a pro. He's a nice dude. That's not.
And I love him. Yeah, dude. I really like AJ Green, but I did love Jalen Ramsey getting under his skin and be like, yeah, dude. I did tell him he was a fucking pussy every play. I'm not gonna even say I didn't.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, just talking a lot of shit on Ramsey's part, which is totally fine. Like that's how you should fucking play the game. And Ramsey's very good. So yeah, exactly. So I don't have a problem with that at all. Obviously, choking a dude isn't the right way to go about things.
You mean choking a dude, punching him 8 times, and then choking him again?
I don't know what video you saw, but
dude,
I'm just kidding.
No,
yeah,
they get on the gets on the
him.
ground. Because I didn't see that the first few times because they posted him just punch him in the head and then doing the whole thing, but they didn't show the whole him getting on the ground and throwing another 6 punches on the ground.
Yeah, he did a rear naked choke, reverse DDT, and then kind of rolled him up and mini German suplexed him and then punched him in the mouth a bunch of times.
Yeah, lucha. It was
pretty wild shit. Lucha. Very luch.
Yeah.
Got away from that for a little bit. Now it's back. Lucha.
Yes.
Sure. So yeah.
Sick.
AJ Green, City, play no other wide receivers. Tyler Kroft, I would play. I feel like he's a good tight end stream.
I don't think he's a must play. I don't think he's a must sit either. I think if you need to play him, I think he's an okay spin the wheel guy. I think he'll be okay. I think he's actually been relatively solid. I don't think he's going to have a high ceiling, but I think he's actually had a very good floor the past few weeks. And you don't want to go for a risky tight end. You want to get possibly solid. If you're in a PPR league of 7 to 10 points, I think Tyler Kroft's your guy. And he has the upside of a touchdown too. So I don't think he's horrible.
Yeah, I like him a lot for all the reasons you just said. And but the running backs here, Hill has not been practicing with an ankle injury now. Obviously scratched for the game against the Jags, and then Joe Mixon was once again the benefactor of all that. I think Mixon probably play until for the rest of the season. I think he should be in your lineup just based off usage alone.
Yeah, that's fair. I really haven't watched a lot of Bengals or the running back crew because I'm one of those guys that I see 3 running backs and that's the plague to me. I don't even try to decipher that. And they've talked about it. With Hill being out, you got to roll Mixon. So I'm very cool with that, Vin.
Yeah, to be honest, Don, the Bengals games have not been very watchable. So you're not missing much at all. You're missing a lot of awful, awful shit. So you don't have to worry about that. They're not good. That being said, Bengals, man, I'm taking them.
I'm gonna go with Tennessee, dude. I'm sorry.
That's fine, man. This might be an ugly game, though.
I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping you get a lot out of a lot of these players because I think a lot of them can be played.
Yeah. On paper, it looks sweet, but
on paper, yeah.
God damn.
Who knows? Let me take another sip of this Demented.
Take a long swig, Don, because I'm throwing it over to you, my co-host, because we got the Packers at Bears, Don. Speaking of awful, awful teams that we like, go for it, man.
Chicago's defense is streamable.
I agree. So let's move on.
It's depressing, man. It is a very depressing time. And it's depressing for fantasy owners who are not even Packer fans because Packers have always been a go-to gold mine between the receivers and Rodgers and even running backs. It's a mess right now. I think the only playable guys, I mean, Randall Cobb had a decent game. I don't think that's going to be consistent for you. Brett Hundley's not a starter. Please don't go for him. I mean, he had 7 completions at one point in the beginning of the game, like 7 for like 9, and it was for 20 yards or whatever it was. So even when he's completing passes, they're short passes. McCarthy's still tailoring the game to him instead of doing their normal Packers, game plan. I get it. It's not Aaron Rodgers, but still, my opinion is roll it out there. So that's hurting all of your receivers, Nelson, Adams, definitely Cobb. I'm okay with you guys still playing Adams or Nelson. I actually think Adams is the most safe play out of them all because I think he has a higher floor than Nelson. Nelson is just still that big playmaker guy. Adams seems to be that more route running receiver. Cobb's that the slot player that he's a little bit older, not the guy they're really going to all the time. So I think Devontae Adams is your safest guy. Nelson, if you need to throw him out there, you can. If you don't want to play him, we had a question with a reader question we answered where putting DeMarco Murray on bench and Jordy Nelson, and they decided maybe not. So if you're looking at that threshold, we decided to put DeMarco Murray in there. But all their value is depleted. So I think Devontae Adams is probably the safest out of all. He's a wide receiver 3. Same with Jordy Nelson. That's what I got on receiving end of Packers.
Very well put, Don. Adams is the only dude for me. Cobb, I think, got lucky this week, to be honest.
Cobb's luck.
And Nelson, dude, it's hard to complete passes to him when he's always on the outside, running very strict, crisp.
He's and that Henley can't make the play, so.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's running pro routes, and like Hundley can't keep up with this offense and what Aaron Rodgers is. It's irreplaceable. So Jordy is off kilter, Hundley's off kilter. Like, it's rough. And Adams is running the simple stuff.
Yeah,
and that's why he's a go-to dude. Running backs,
dude. Running backs is another thing.
I kind of like Montgomery again. Kind of falling back into that. He does.
Montgomery looks good. So Montgomery's not your traditional running back, but I mean, he came back in there and he had a whole lot of flair. Advice by not taking Aaron Jones, but back to I think Montgomery takes over that role a little bit more. I really think that Packers wanted to go the Jones route because he's your traditional runner. Good. I think he makes the flow of the offense a lot better. So I think especially PPR, Ty Montgomery will outsnap you for their pass routes, and he's going to get more passes to him. So I think Ty Montgomery is your play. If you want to throw Jones out there, I'm totally okay with that. I think he's an RB3 value, but I think Montgomery is an okay play no matter what.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Montgomery is probably the only guy I would play. The Aaron Jones stuff last week scared the shit out of me. They went away from him quick. And in a game where the Bears will slow it down, like in that Lions game versus the Packers last week, they slowed the game down hard, and Jones barely saw the field after the first drive. So I feel like the same thing will happen here, and Montgomery will again catch a lot of passes and make up some points in garbage time and stuff like that. So I do like Montgomery as a play. Hopefully no one dropped him, or if people did, go get him. Figure it out there.
Yeah.
Don, for the Bears, I really only like Jordan Howard, and that's it.
I only like Jordan Howard too.
Yeah, I think he's going to kill it again. Probably get close to 30 carries and whatnot. I still see a lot of love for Tariq Cohen, and I'm not sure why.
No, I'm off the Tariq Cohen.
I have no idea. Yeah, I feel like that ended a while ago. People need to catch up because what the hell is he going to do in this game?
Yeah.
The pass, it's not going to happen. So Howard, man, possibly RB1 on the week.
Yeah. Jordan Howard's going to have a nice game. So he's a RB1 this week for sure.
I agree. So Bears, sweep it?
No, I'm still going to go Green Bay in the hopes that we win.
I knew you would, Don. Just tried to get you one time.
Dick.
Hey, let's go to your other favorite team. Teams. Holy shit. Chargers and Jaguars, dude. What the hell are you going to do?
Bolt up at the same time?
Bolt up and jag off all day. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. So, Phillip. Don't play Phillip.
No.
Please don't play Phillip.
I actually have Phillip in one league, and I've been rocking him. And this week I'm streaming out of Jacksonville's good. They are very good. So I would not play Phillip Rivers if you can get McCown. If McCown is on your waiver wire, please pick him up if you're a Phillip Rivers starter.
There are so many quarterbacks I would play over Phillip because Jaguars #1 against the quarterback. Don't do it.
Are you playing Ryan Fitzpatrick over Phillip Rivers?
Yeah, I would.
Well, there you
I'd
have
even
it,
play
guys.
Eli. I'd even play Eli, and I don't like Eli at all. So I would definitely stay away from Phillip at all costs. It sucks, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I'm scared for Keenan Allen because he's going to see a lot of Ramsey, a lot of Aboye. So
Yeah, you know what? Keenan Allen sucked this year. He's really
it is
not that
disappointing,
good, so
right? Very.
I've sat him in 2 of my leagues. Keenan Allen's whatever, man.
Well, you're ahead of the curve. That you've been sitting him.
Yeah, the past few weeks I've just had to sit him.
I didn't
not
pay
worth it.
you.
So Keenan Allen is do not play him this week.
Yeah, I think if you
he cannot punch Jalen Ramsey after being pissed off.
Jalen versus Allen is going to draw a lot of spotlights now, so we'll see what that is.
He's going to bully Keenan Allen this week
And do nothing.
Who Keenan Allen's going to do nothing?
Yeah,
So what you're asking? Keenan Allen hasn't done much. So against Jalen Ramsey, he's probably not going to do much.
he ain't done nothing. So I'm saying he's going to pull a Keenan, get no points. So yeah, no Keenan for me and on, which means no other wide receivers either. I wouldn't play a single one. Not Williams, not Benjamin, not the other Williams. Fuck them all.
Fuck them all. I think Hunter Henry is the only receiving Charger that you can play.
That's the one guy I was going to say. He probably the only one that would be plausible to score a touchdown against the Jags because that would be how you beat them over the middle. But that's really their only weakness. And I guess a little bit in the run game with Melvin Gordon, they would need to rely on him. So I like Gordon as a play.
I'm not sitting him.
Yeah, you're definitely not sitting him.
Another top 5 dead or alive right there. So Melvin Gordon is in your starting line.
I don't know about top 5, but
Like he's having a really good year, dude.
oh, I thought you meant for this week. Jesus.
No, right now, overall.
Well, go Melvin Gordon, man.
I still think he'll have a decent week. Their passing game is going to be shit.
Yeah, as long as they can stay, somewhat in the game, Melvin Gordon will be fine. Blake Bortles, Don?
No.
I agree. He's actually been not the worst.
He's also not been the
kinda
best.
Weird. That is very true. So moving right along. Shut up, Vinny. Look at me. I want to play Blake Bortles and Jermaine Gresham on a team. That'd be a lot of fun.
Stack that.
Stack it forever. Leonard Fournette missed out on whatever the fuck he missed. Was that team photos? So they sat his ass. Pretty brutal. I just would have, not done that. But he'll be back this week. Must play for sure.
Yeah,
could have even been like a little positive there because he was, shaken up before the bye. So maybe a little bit more rest. Just trying to get the positives out here.
Yeah, Tyler in our main league, Tyler has him, and I'm playing him, and I want to cry. So I'm praying that Zeke is suspended by this week.
Fuck
will
Zeke.
Happen, probably not.
We'll get to that in the next podcast. But Jesus Christ,
yeah,
so sick of Zeke. But before we get off track on that shit, Marquise Lee, Allen Hurns, they did okay against the Bengals, who are pretty tough defense against the pass. What? I don't know. What would you do? Because the Chargers have they've been beatable in the sense that you could throw.
I would say the only one I would play would be Marquise Lee if I had to.
Yeah, that's completely fair. A thing to note, D.D. Westbrook might be activated, who was their rookie, who's supposed to be, some kind of hot shit deal. So keep an eye on that because that might throw a wrench into any plans to play Lee or Hearns. So keep an eye on it. That's pretty much it. I wouldn't play D.D. Westbrook. Maybe you stash him in like a keeper league, perhaps. I don't know. I know, Don, you have like a weird one where you can pick up guys and they count as your, last draft pick or something like that?
Well, I'm in a league where I think I forget the rules. I have to text them all the time. But you have like a 5th round keeper and a 12th round keeper. Or I think instead of the 12th round keeper, if you pick up someone on the waiver, you can use that as your 12th round keeper instead. So that's where I scooped up Josh Gordon in the hopes that maybe he stays sober and ends up killing it again, and I can use him for next year.
A whole nother story. But yeah, that's the only situation I'd want D.D. Westbrook. But that's it for me. Don, Mercedes Lewis, right? Definitely.
I mean, Bortles fucking missed that great that open look for another touchdown. Fuck is that?
Mercedes Lewis or Jermaine Gresham?
I don't know, dude. That's
that would be a spot where I'd be like, yeah, I'll go get Thursday Night Woes.
I'll go Mercedes Lewis if I had to.
Yeesh, I would not.
It's because Blake Bortles misses when he opens up. I don't know. I'd play neither.
Fuck him. Fuck him all.
Your tight end slot open.
Take the 0, dude. So with that, we are all wrapped up, Don, for the first half of our Voncast. Oh, shit. I'm taking the Jags.
I'm going to bolt up, man.
Cool. I was tempted, but I don't really think they got the pieces.
Phillips got the hose, and he's going to figure it out.
Fournette's got the run. We're going to wreck. Sorry.
Yeah, he's going to wreck a lot.
It's going to be nuts. So now, Don, we are officially done with the first slate of games. We made it through, what are we pushing, like 2 hours?
We're getting there.
Cool. We'll definitely cap this out on the second part, but hope you guys stuck with us. We're going to get to the next games that will be coming to you live probably Friday. I think this podcast itself will be available to you Thursday. I don't know why I'm telling you that now because it's the end of the podcast and you're already listening to it. So nothing I say matters from this point on. Don, you have anything to say before we sign off for these beautiful people?
You might have listened to this on Thursday.
I think that's most certainly the case. Or it could have been Friday. It could have been Saturday, but either way, it comes out Thursday.
You know what? Just leave us a review. Let us know what day you listen to it. Tell me I'm great.
Yeah.
If you don't have a comment, then don't leave it.
Yeah. Just drop the 5-star. Say the Voncast is great. Probably get rid of Walsh and Matt. Not a big fan of them.
The beer
Shrek. Yeah. Take it or leave it with Shrek. Like LTFF. It's just Vinny and Don taking over, right?
That's what I've been saying.
No one listens to us, man. But thanks for listening, guys. This podcast is officially over right now.
This has been Let's Talk Fantasy Football. Thanks for listening.